Matthew 18:8 calls it everlasting fire. Jude 7 calls it eternal fire. The fire in hell is not quenched. It never dies down. It never goes out. It never subsides. It is eternal fire. Revelation 20:10 calls it the lake of fire and brimstone. Have you ever been thrown into a lake or the deep end of the pool when you didn't know how to swim? Or you know one case like this? It is the most terrifying experience. You feel helpless as you flounder in the water. Being in a lake of fire is going to make people feel far more helpless and overwhelmed than being in a lake of water. They will flounder and flail. Their arms are They will flounder and flail their arms and try to keep themselves upright. But they don't know which way is up and which way is down, because they can't see anything as a point of reference. They will splash around in the lake of fire with nothing to put their feet upon, nothing to grab hold of, no life preserves, and no one to cry out to for help. Matthew 13:42 calls it a furnace of fire. I am sure most of you has been burned to some degree at some time or another. And it is certain that you do not like to think about being thrown into a furnace of fire. Yes, fire, hell is a place of fire. Hell also is a place of desires. The first desire of the rich man in hell was that Lazarus take one drop of water and place it upon his tongue. One little drop. What would that do? The man is in eternal fire, in a furnace of fire, in a lake of fire. He is burning in fire and brimstone for all eternity, and he wants just one little drop. Dear friends, how long will that little drop last? Have you ever dropped just one drop of water into a hot plate? It lasts but for a few seconds. The rich man is begging, crying out for just a drop, just a respite, but he can't have it. He is saying, if I could have just a drop of rest from the fire, but he can't have it. His desire will go on for all eternity. He had a desire for mercy, but he didn't get that either. In hell, for all eternity, people will desire to see. For all eternity, people will desire to hold a baby. For all eternity, people will desire to talk to a friend. For all eternity, people will decide whatever people desire on earth. But for all eternity, people will never be granted even one of these desires. For all eternity, people will be like a drug addict, going through withdrawal. The rich man had a desire to save his brothers. He didn't want them to come into this terrible place. Not one person in hell wants anyone to go there. If they could, all the voice of those weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth in hell will cry out to everyone, "Don't come here! Don't come here!" Because hell is a terrible place. Hell is a place of conscience and doubts. The rich man in Luke 16 remembered his life. He remembered he had brothers who might come to this terrible place. And the doubts kills. He will be thinking about his relatives. They will come here. the others are here. What a torment do not to know about the lack of those who one loved. For all eternity, individuals who go to hell will have doubts if they didn't have to be there. They could have gotten saved and gone to heaven. They didn't have to be in this terrible place. For all eternity, they will remember the opportunities they rejected. They will spend eternity remembering every preacher's invitation they heard, every gospel tract placed in their hands, every invitation given to get saved, to get saved, everyone who asked them to get saved. Hell is a place of physical bodies. The rich man had eyes, a mouth, a tongue. Those in hell have bodies in which they must spend eternity. And those bodies will never cease to exist. But there, people can do nothing in their bodies. Nor surgeries, neither get tongue, not exercise. Hell is a place of darkness. 2 Peter 2:4 calls it darkness. Jude 13 calls it blackness of darkness. Can you imagine that? The blackness of darkness. Those who go hell will be in total darkness and blackness, seeing nothing. They won't be able to see because there is nothing to see. Hell is a bottomless pit. Revelation 23 describes hell as a bottomless pit. The people who go to hell are cast into a place where there is no bottom. They tumble and fail, tumble and fail, tumble and fall in the blackness of darkness, in the flames of the fire. They never have a place to rest, never have anything to grab hold of, never have a place to stand on, never have a place to sit down. They never have anything they can touch to find any reality. Hell is a place of torment. What will it be like in hell? Matthew 8:12 says, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 13:42 says, there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. They will not only weep and wail, but they will hear the countless multitudes of millions and millions of others weeping and wailing and screaming and crying and begging for mercy. Therefore, hell had enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejecteth shall descend into it. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled, according to Isaiah 5:14. Imagine what it'll be like for all eternity. Your ears hearing the screaming, the screeching, the wailing and weeping of others, while you yourself add to that horrible chores in that terrible place. There will also be the gnashing, gritting of teeth as sinners try to find comfort. They will be in such a torment that they grin their teeth, but the teeth never grin down, and it is constant. Revelation 14:11 speaks of this torment. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. The smoke never stops. The fire never stops. The darkness never stops. The torment never stops. The weeping and wailing never stop. The gnashing of teeth never stops. The falling never stops. 1 John 4:18 says, there is not fear in love, But perfect love cast out fear, because fear had torment. Friends, there is not love in hell. Those in hell are not only experience all these terrible things that I mentioned before, they also have fear, unbelievable fear, heavy fear, powerful fear, all-consuming fear, because there is not love to cast out the fear. People in hell are tormented in the flames and tormented by fear glushing, horrible, terrifying nightmares that bring on a fear that can be felt. They are afraid night and day for all eternity, with a horrible, creeping, incapacitating fear. Hell is a terrible place. But also hell is a place of bondage. Matthew 22:13 reads, "Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." 2 Peter speaks about the fallen angels being held in chains of darkness. People in hell will be as if they are bound hand and foot. They have chains about them. They cannot go where they want to go. They cannot do what they want to do. They can do nothing but existing while wishing not to exist. They will be completely bound. Their feet will neither walk nor run, and they won't be able to wave their arms. Revelation 14:11 says, "There is not rest, never a moment to unwind." Daniel 12:2 describes hell as a place of shame and everlasting contempt. In hell, there is nothing but deep, dark, creeping depression. Sinners take all their shame with them to hell, and they relive their shame moment after moment after moment. There is nothing but the depths of depression in hell. Do you think that there is a self-esteem problem here? Well, hell has the worst self-esteem problem. People will abhor themselves, detest themselves, despise themselves, hate themselves. Though they will want to kill themselves, they won't be able to. Though they will want to die, they won't be able to die. They will want to be safe, but they won't be able to be safe. They will want to be changed, but they won't be able to change. They will hate themselves, have contempt for themselves, and live with your shame, with depression, for all eternity. Hell is a terrible place. But also hell is a place of destruction. 2 Thessalonians 1:9 says, "Those shall be punished with everlasting destruction." Destruction doesn't mean annihilation, but ruination, separation from God. So this verse is saying, who shall be punished with everlasting ruination, separation from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Listen, those in hell will be totally separate from any interaction with God. And this is the worst thing that can happen for anyone. The Bible says in 1 John 1:5 that God is light. Hell is blackness and darkness because God is not there. Hell is a total separation from God. Therefore, there is not light, just darkness.